Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy and I'm with the Auckland Rugby League. We're here for the live league action match at Glenora's home ground as the Bears get ready to go up against the Mount Albert Lions. Glenora Bears are sponsored by Greyland Tavern, and I want to thank them for their support down here as the Bears are up against now what we call a Conacher Root Rooster challenge match against the Mount Albert Lions. And joining us is one of the co-coaches for the Glenora Bears, Ross Ueli. Ross, how you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Troy. Yeah, it's a good day for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if you can't join us down here today, you know, we're on live on the link, so share that in the Facebook and the website and get, you know, mums, dads, all the friends and families along to, you know, watch the live league action today. Ross, in regards to the game against Mount Albert today, mate, did you watch the live stream match last week? And if so, what did you take out of that? What was the key learning watching Mount Albert do Point Chevalier in that match?
Oh, well, there's quite a good points that Bernie's taken out of this game. So from last week's game, so I think we've just knuckled on a few things and tidied up on a few things on our defence and attack. So yeah, looking forward to play what would say in this weather. It's kind of like probably played in the middle.
Now, look, in regards to the Conacher Minolta Root Rooster, one of the trophies that we have here, how important is it to your group and your team in regards to wanting to keep this?
Oh, I think it's very important to the group, and as a West community, it's really good. It's something that these boys strive to play for. It's also part of the culture that these boys have got it, so they've got to defend it for 2 more times, and hopefully today and next week will probably be good results for us.
In regards to 3 playing 4 today, you know, on the SAS Fox ladder, how important is it to get the W today?
Well, I think every team that's reaching for top 4 has that aspiration to make the top 4, and so this game is very important for us. We set aside this whole week in preparation for it. I mean, we know that Mount Albert, you know, has been the benchmark for years gone by, and you know, so it's something that is very dear to us, and it's something that we're going to take very seriously today.
Look, and we're also in that part of the season, I guess, Ross, where sickness and injuries take toll. In regards to the Glenora Bears, have you got the group that you want to, you know, walk onto the park today?
Well, I think the beauty that Bernie has at his disposal is that, you know, and that what's going good for us at the moment, Troy, is that we have not yet strung our top 17 side. Wow. And we're in a good position. So that's something that's really good with us, and we're working hard to maintain the intensity. And the boys know what it is. The culture that the boys are showing now is something that's very heartful for them. They really believe, and I think the belief in the team is something very, very, very going really well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's very, very good. Yeah. Mate, in regards to playing here at home, is there a real advantage, you know, having this type of match being played on your home ground, and if so, what is it?
Well, I think it's the crowd. When you're playing at home, it's you know, the call goes out, it's home ground, we'll play our style of rugby league, we'll teach the opposition how to do it, you know, and that's something that we're dear to, so we want to make this the worst place for any opposing team to come to. It's to beat them on our home soil. You know, we got a 1-up on Mount Albert last time, we beat them at their home ground, so they'll be hurting. We know that they're ready this time around. They had a good win last week, so they know they've come today with a purpose. And that's something that us boys have to maintain, weather, and throw it back at them.
Mate, in regards to, you know, some of the personnel you've got running around in the Glenora Bears team, Sawapi, Tolson, Zach, Jordan, what do they get up for this game? Like, they've got a vested interest in this, playing, you know, the old home club?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think it's like, you know, when you're playing your old club, you sort of like, you bring with yourself some you know, in-house intel on how they play. And through the whole week, those 4 boys have been, you know, just upping the ante with the trainings and teaching and talking to the boys. You know, well-campaigned players, experienced players, showing the experience and giving knowledge to the young boys coming through. And that's something that we aspire to. They are ready for this game, I can tell you that, Troy.
Awesome, mate. We're looking forward to a big clash today, mate. Finally, how do you beat the Lions, Ross?
Well, I think something that you just beat them up the middle.
Okay, it looks like
we're going to beat them hard, and this is the weather for it, so we're up for it. So, you know, whichever way it goes today, I know it's going to be one hell of a game for the people to watch, and for, you know, for the people here that are supporters. I know it's a rainy day, but come down and support the blue and whites, and we'll give you something to cheer about.
Awesome. I want to thank you, Ross, for your time, mate. I know, you know, coming in to do these sort of things before kick-off is always a wee bit difficult, but appreciate your time, mate, and best of luck for today's game.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers. Okay, we're going to throw across to Corey now. He's going to have a quick word with the head coach from the Mount Albert Lions as we get ready for that. Ross is going to go to attend his crew. Let me take care of the route there, mate. And we'll bring Corey in now.
Thank you, Troy, and we are joined now by the co-coach of the Russell Gordon Mount Albert Lions. And the first question, I guess, Phil, huge win for you guys last week against Point Chev. What's the mood been like this week?
Oh, you know, we were obviously positive after that game. Just basically because of the performance we put out there is something that we've been working on for a while, and to finally for it to click and to come together in such a way was really pleasing for us.
You spoke about not letting it define your season. I guess, you know, as much as a hurtful loss, a big defeat, a big victory can be, I guess, detrimental if you let it get on top of you. So how key is it to kind of move on from that and try and find a new level?
I think, you know, within the context of our season so far, like we've got bitter memories and happy memories, and bitter memories only, you know, 80 minutes away. So within the context of the season and how we're tracking, we keep everything in check, and we've won nothing yet. So we're looking to continue to put standards on ourselves and what we do, and hopefully with those processes, performance and results will look after themselves.
You mentioned you haven't won anything yet, but there is a chance obviously to win some silverware today, which we have sitting in front of us, the Connocker Minolta Root Rooster. How much of a value do you put on that as a club? You've obviously held it a few times over the years. How much value do you put on it?
Oh, I think every chance to play for such a trophy is an honour. You know, it's not something that comes along. Sometimes, you know, you can play a season without getting a chance. This year we've been lucky. This is our second opportunity, and I guess where we're at and how we're tracking will be defined by how well we do today. And it's a big deal, mate. Like I don't know anyone who wouldn't love to win the Root.
And obviously with the table being so congested, it's a great opportunity for you guys to potentially move up into third or second position. So it's a big clash in terms of your season and where you might finish in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's great actually how tight the top four is. You know, there's a lot of competition, you know, for second, for and against us coming into play. So, yeah, we realise and we understand that you know, a win for us today has some further reaching outcomes as far as the table's concerned. But yeah, it's an 80-minute performance first before, you know, that's even contemplated.
You're without a few key guys. You've obviously got Mark Graham out on 20s duty. Paul Loss is out as well. And Jared Tour as well, so a few key personnel out for you?
Yeah, mate, like, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. You just, sometimes things go and it clicks well and then you get thrown some adversity, but that's what this squad's all about. We've dealt with it all year, ins and outs, and we just have faith and confidence in the boys we bring in, and knowing that hopefully within the culture that we've built, that nothing changes. Next job.
Does the weather change your game plan at all today? It's obviously very wet out there. It's been raining all day here at Harold Moody Park. Does the game plan change much?
Oh, a little bit, mate. You'd be silly not to, for these conditions, not to play a little part in how we approach today, but not hugely. I mean, I think it still comes down to completing sets, making minimal errors, and making sure defensively we're up in the middle and on our edges, and that we've got good talk, good communication.
Excellent. So that is all from us today. So all the best, Phil, and we'll catch up with you post-match, but all the very best for the match.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you to Phil for joining us. So we will now cut back to our holding screen while I welcome back my colleague, Troy Hardy. And Phil will get on with the rest of the preparation. So a big thank you to Phil for joining us. And we are now going to welcome in Troy Hardy, who is going to be joined by the Glenora chairman, and catch up about what's going on at the club. So over to you, Troy.
Thanks, Corey. Awesome, mate. And very lucky to have Aaron, chairman of the Glenora Bears, down here with us.
Kia ora, Troy.
Kia ora. Mate, got a couple of quick questions for you. First one off is let's talk about the Glenora club and what's happening up there, not just in regards to what happens after the game, but what activities you've got going on at the Glenora Bears, mate.
For a few years now, we've been running what we call GEDS, which is Glenora Elite Development. It started off as elite development, and that's just goes up open to all international grades, and we're just trying to upskill. You know, we don't always have the expertise individually with coaches and their teams, so we try and get a wider group and try and bring them all in together, and work on that. It started as elite, but we actually open it up to all our boys now, anybody who wants to make the extra effort. So we run that over summer, and you know, we try and work on a few other things that you don't get the time during the season to work on. You know, one part of our game I don't think we spend enough time on is the mental side of it. So we're you know, approaching that with different sorts of things and that sort of thing. But we're very lucky to have some really good coaches within the club. So
awesome. Look, and also in regards to the health of the club and, you know, the playing squads and the age groups that you have, tell us a bit about that in regards to, you know, you've touched on internationals, the juniors, seniors, but, you know, restricted grades, do you have many of that, so on and so forth?
We're actually really strong in our restricted grades, obviously being West Auckland team. Yeah, I think the restricted footy is actually really good for our game. It's actually sometimes a better game to watch. It's a lot faster, and as we all know, it keeps our little guys in the game. And as we know, when we watch the big boys, you know, NRL and all that, the most exciting players out there are the little players. You know, we've really got to look after them. We don't want them getting bashed up too early. So we support the restricted footy as much as we can, and we've done all right there. Covering the two age groups, I think it's really good too, and you get a good mix of experience and the younger guys coming through. So I think restricted footy is very important in Auckland.
Mate, and just in regards to that, you know, for all the mums out there who are a wee bit concerned about, you know, the kids playing rugby league, there's restricted grades down here. There's also, you know, open grades that we've touched on. But if somebody wanted to play rugby league and wanted to come down and join the Glenora Bears, mate, how would they do that?
We've got our website, obviously. That's the first place to go. We're going to be reaching out to the schools, try and interact with the local schools around the place. That's something that I've got to be honest, has been a bit lacking. And we've had a bit of a, got to be honest, we've always been strong in our mini and mods. We've had a bit of a drop-off in the international grades this year. So we're going to be very proactive in the off-season and really trying to get people back into our game. We're going to be running a gala day early next year, where everybody can come along. We're hoping to have some good games on show, some good teams, and just come along and have a look and yeah, enjoy yourself. And mate, it's a very good club with great people, so come along.
Mate, and also, you know, look, being the chairman of a, you know, pretty strong performing club, and also you've got a good executive, how impressed or, you know, what are the views and thoughts in regards to how well the Premier side's going at the moment? Let's talk about that.
Very exciting, to be honest, you know. Glenora's always played with a lot of heart, but we've struggled. Point Chev, Mount Albert have always been the marquee teams in the comp for the last few years. They're the benchmark. We've managed to beat both teams this year, which has brought in more belief. So the more we believe, the more we're going well. Obviously, getting Bernie Perenara along to our club this year has been huge for us. I really rate him, as you know, he's been around, he knows what he's doing. And he just brings with him an air of confidence, which has been passed on down to the team. But one of the things that I'm really pleased about is we've got guys like Hami Luaki, who's been over, he's played for the Warriors in the NRL, he's been to Super League, and he's come back this year and he's come back to his junior club. For not much, you know, he's just here, and his inspiration is really good. We've got Kurt Bernard, who's just come back from the NRL. He's back at his junior club. Wow. And guys like that are really giving the younger guys, you know, they're actually aspiring to play alongside those guys, so it is possible to reach your dreams, you know, so that's cool.
Mate, I'm getting the energy and the vibe off you. Tell us about tell us about the vibe in the club, man. How are the supporters, you know, and all the fans as well as the players? We've touched on them, but what is the vibe like at Glenora? Oh,
very, very good, very promising, you know. We're hoping that it's still going to be there tonight, you know. Obviously, hiccups happen along the way, but we're going in confident today, and you know, I've really got to say our supporters, we've got a very good, strong group of supporters that have supported, even when we're not doing so well, they're still there cheering. You have a look at the day today, mate, that hill will still be full. They'll still be down here cheering their team, and mate, we love it. It's awesome.
You sort of mentioned, you know, tonight, so like, let's talk about, you know, if somebody wants to support, you know, whether they're watching the live stream game or they're down here today, what happens in the club this evening?
First of all, we invite both teams back in. You know, like the essence of rugby league is teams go out there, they do battle, then they shake hands, they go and break some bread together, have a drink, and they're all close as, you know. So, and that's what I love about our game. For me, that's the essence of rugby league. Doesn't matter where you go, it's been the same for all through history. The boys have been pretty focused lately. We've had celebrated a couple of our wins, but in the last few weeks they're sort of more focused, and they know where they want to be. So yeah, it's hard to say where we go, but there's always a good vibe at the club. As I say, just great people down here, mate.
Awesome. Look, and finally, mate, because I know you've got a busy day today, you know, hosting and what have you, is, you know, we talk about volunteers, we talk about the importance of our supporters. Mate, need to talk about your sponsors. Let's, you know, Greyland Tavern, obviously, with the premiers, but, you know, how important are the sponsors to you, the executive, and more importantly, to the club?
They're huge. They're what it's all about. We can't do anything without them, you know. We're very lucky at Glenora. We've got a very strong old boy contingency, and unfortunately that's where a lot of clubs are falling over, as people just aren't putting back into the game these days. Down here, it's the other way. We've got a lot of guys that come along. We've got what we call a 5x52 club, 50 members now. We'll just put $5 in a week into the thing, and mate, they help the club out with picking up those hidden expenses that clubs can't always, you know, they come out of nowhere, and that really makes clubs struggle. So we're very lucky there. Our volunteers, we've got Luana, our match manager. Her and I grew up down here. We were kids running around under the tables at, you know, 5, 6, so that's how long we've been here. We've got Carol, our secretary. She's been here for ages. We've just got a new schoolboy committee through Phil Moore and a team that he's got together, and that's very exciting. Actually, they're doing a great job. They bring a lot of enthusiasm. So those volunteers, they're sort of getting harder to come by these days, but you really need them, and we're lucky at Glenora. We've had some really good people. But I've got to get on to the sponsors, because
mate, yep,
they know what it's all about. First of all, start with Grant and Eileen from Greyland Tavern. They don't just sponsor us, they sponsor a couple of teams. So what they actually do for our sport in general, not just our club, I think is massive, mate. They put a lot back into the game. We really need people like that.
Absolutely.
Then we go back to our local guys. We've got Trevor from the bald one, from LJ Hooker. Yep. He's been with us for a few years, and he's a very good supporter. We've got Mad Butcher, Point Chev, actually. He's come on board this year, so big ups to Aaron. But a couple of other guys I've got to mention. We've got Brady Malem from Budpack. Now, you know, he's been around, and he does a hell of a lot for the club. He's always backing up here and there, and he's a great supporter. We've got Rick Duggan, who does SignMax. He does all our signage, and he's always helping us out. Got Conlon Contractors, actually, best concrete layers around, mate. That's us. Hey, we're supporting too, mate. I can't ask for something out of somebody else and not contribute ourselves. So that's good. And mate, those sponsors are so important. We've actually got run an initiative where our 17 jerseys, we've got 17 individual sponsors, and they put $1,000 towards each jersey a year, and that's huge, mate. And without that, you know, people don't have a lot of money, but they're willing to pitch in a little bit. If we get a lot of people willing to do a little bit, mate, it adds up to a lot, you know. And we're very lucky at Glenora. We've got a lot of people that are willing to do that. It's awesome.
Awesome, Aaron, and on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, you know, down here with the Glenora Bears, a big shout out to those sponsors, and we really appreciate what you're doing with the, not just the Bears Prem side, but overall. I want to thank you for your time, Aaron, and I'll let you get ready for the big game as the guys are getting warmed up, no more warmed up than the chairman of the club, and I'll now get Corey to come and join us as we get ready now for the kick-off of the match. Cheers, Aaron. Thanks, mate. Awesome, cheers, man. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Corey's coming back in shortly to join us as we get ready, and looking like a fabulous day for a bit of rugby league out there, so we can hear the Mount Albert boys warming up over in the backside of the field, and I'll just grab the root rooster now as we wait for Grant to throw our picture back up on the screen.
That's right, and what a fantastic looking trophy as well, and obviously a lot of history. If you don't know much about the Root Rooster, a little bit about the format. I guess Rugby League's answer to the Ranfurly Shield, so it goes on the line at every home game.
The Ranfurly Shield is the answer to the Conacher Minolta Root Rooster.
Yeah. So look, I guess outside of the Fox, absolutely the most prestigious award, I think, in New Zealand Rugby League in terms of what you can win. You know, a lot of amazing stories over the years of teams that have won this one. So Glenora currently holding it. They've had to fight off a couple of big challenges already, and over the next 2 weeks they'll play Mount Albert and Point Chev at home to try and hold on to it. So you know, speaking to a few of the players this week, they said if we hold it in the summer, we will have deserved it. So I guess just adds another facet to this game, doesn't it? It's already a big game in terms of the positioning on the ladder, but this just adds another facet to it.
Mate, and there's the 5-minute warning. The boys are warming up out here on the #1 field down at the Glenora Bears home ground, and Mount Albert seem like they've got a lot of energy, and they're coming off a massive win last week. You know, they performed very well against Point Chevalier, and there's Mount Albert now up on screen, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome in if you've just joined us to the live league action. Please share and like us on the social media pages, and if you are here and you need to get in on the link, go to the Auckland Rugby League website, www.aucklandleague.co.nz. So, Corey, Mount Albert out here, we've heard a lot of energy out of them as they're getting warmed up for this game. There seems to be like there's a wee bit of intent.
Yeah, well, huge victory for Mount Albert last week. Absolutely took it to Point Chevalier, were dominant through the middle of the park, and that's against a stacked Point Chevalier side. So huge win for them in terms of their confidence, and we will bring up the ladder in a minute so we can have a little bit of a look at the effect that that's had on the ladder. But things really starting to heat up in terms of the top four, Troy, and we do have a look at the ARL SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder, and still at the top of the ladder with just the 2 losses so far, it's the Point Chevalier Pirates. They're followed by the Howick Hornets. They've had 3 losses so far, 11 wins, sitting there on 22 points. Locked on points with them, just behind on differential as it stands. Today's team, the Glenora Bears, followed by the Mount Albert Lions, just 1 point off. Of course, that 1 point coming from a draw against Papakura a few weeks ago. So they're currently occupying that 4th position. They've just about sewn up that 4th spot. It would take something big for Papakura to be able to sneak inside the top 4 from here. But of course, anything possible in this Auckland Rugby League competition. And from there, we see the Northcote Tigers. They've had a really good second part of the competition. Second round, picked up 5 victories so far, along with 8 losses. And they're followed by the Marist Saints, Richmond Bulldogs, the Te Atatu Roosters and Mangere East Hawks. And at this stage, it looks like the Te Atatu Roosters and Mangere East Hawks are going to fight it out. Huge game next week between those two, which possibly will decide who remains in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. We are now going to be joined by ARL Director Gordy Gibbons. Troy's going to have a very quick chat to Gordy as we count down to kick off here at Harold Moody Park in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.
G'day, Gordon. Great to have you here, mate. ARL Director, hey, down here for the main game. And what are your first thoughts in regards to Mount Albert Glenora?
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed with the state of the field. I mean, I haven't walked out in the middle, but it certainly looks okay. And it's a bit of a shame that that the weather is like this. But it's all about footy, and it's a winter sport. But I suppose the main thing today, 2 points in the SAS Fox Memorial, but the Root Rooster on the line, the Connacht Minolta Root Rooster, and that's a biggie. First played for, 1915, and it's got a heck of a lot of history. And I think Glenora's won it 3 times, I think, in the course of its history, and Mount Albert 10 times. So that's going to be very interesting indeed, and it's great to have 2 great sides playing out for it. And I know Bernie Perenara is focused on the 2 points, but hey, the old Silverbird's a bit of a bonus as well.
Now, Gordy, I know that, you don't just attend the SAS Fox games, during the course of the season, mate. You've got out and got around and seen a wee bit of football. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I have actually. I've been along to a couple of the Sharman Cups, the Crown Lift Truck, say that again, Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup.
It's a mouthful.
But yeah, it certainly is. Great machinery though. There's been some great footy there, but I've been very impressed with the standard in the Fox. Particularly at the top 4, 5, 6 teams are playing extremely well indeed. So congratulations to all involved there, the coaches, the players playing extremely well indeed. And I certainly know that the weather won't put these boys off in playing some Open Rugby League this afternoon.
Point Chevalier last week, got pretty well mauled by Mount Albert, and Mount Albert were really strong in the ground warfare. They had them in the wrestle. They really muscled up. They'll be coming with a lot of confidence today up against Glenora Bears. How do you see this unfolding? How do you see it unplaying out,
well,
given the conditions and the weather?
Okay, well, given the conditions and the weather. But the funny thing there, too, is Glenora's got a purple patch at the moment as well. And I was just talking to Pete McCartney, the manager from the Mount Albert Lions, and he was saying last week that the boys actually knew that they'd put it all together just for that 80 minutes against Point Chev. Because to do that against Point Chev, you've got to be on your game. So great effort by Mount Albert, and yes, they'll be coming into this game wanting to take the Silverbird back to Fowles Park. But this Glenora side, I'm very impressed with the way that they've come about this year. They have had a couple of dry years in the past, previous years. So this year, 2017, it wouldn't surprise me if they'll be there or thereabouts come grand final time.
Awesome, mate. And look, and finally, as we're getting sort of ready for the guys to kick off this round, Warriors, how are we going to go this weekend?
Oh, yeah, good one. Yeah, thanks for that, Troy. That's great. Yeah, Vodafone Warriors in Townsville against the Cowboys. They might be without Jonathan Thurston, but that is not making any difference to them at the moment. Sean Johnson gone for 6-8 weeks. I suppose the only positive out of that is that he'll be available for the Kiwis. It's going to be a huge blow to the Vodafone Warriors tonight. But hey, we know that when this team's on, it's on. And tonight we're going to need a lot of luck, but more importantly, we're going to need everybody switched on. And I know that Mason Lino, he's only played one game in the NRL. It's his chance to shine today, and I absolutely think that he's got the goods. Whether the occasion might be a wee bit too much for him, but he's got players around him that will make sure that he takes the right option, especially in Kieran and in Isaac Luke as well. So, yeah, look, I'm going to pick the Vodafone Warriors to win tonight because they say we can lose 2 games and still make the finals. I think tonight's our season. If we certainly don't do this tonight, we're going to struggle next week as well.
Okay, good. And look, I know you're very busy, mate. We're getting ready for kick-off. Hopefully we can nab you back at half-time for a wee bit of a commentary. And more importantly, we're going to catch up with you at the end of the match with the officiation part of the Conaka Minolta Root Rooster.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, Corey, back to you, mate, as the team start to walk out to halfway.
Yeah, excellent, and thank you to Gordy for joining us there for a chat. Always good to hear from Gordy. And we are now going to bring up the team list and run you through the 2 teams who will take the field today in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Remembering the Conaka Minolta Root Rooster also on the line. And at the back it's going to be wearing number 18, Polima Siaki. The wings are Kepu Suli and James Tomata. The centres, To'u Alo and Stanley Takalua. The halves, JT, Jordan Ture and Phil Kingy. And Phil is going to captain the side. In the front row, Swape Kavaliku and Pea Manukia, and in the middle, Zach Tippins, the number 9. In the back row, Daniel Rielu, Eplahami Loaki, Tolson Caird locks the scrum. And on the bench for Glenora, wearing 16, Aaron Booth, 15, Aaron Swan, 19, Graham Suapo, and the 17, Chase Bernard. So that is your Greyland Tavern Glenora Bears team for today's match. And to run you through the Russell and Gordon Contractors team. And at the back it will be Cortez Taulu. On the wings, Jordan Tour and Tama Pasini. The centres, Michael Butson and Corey Sita. In the halves, Mariah Osborne. We saw him in his SAS Fox Memorial Premiership debut last week. Very impressive. He joins Trent Wallace in the halves, and Trent will be the on-field captain. In the front row, 16, Leo Papa Pasini and Kitiona Pasini. The 14 is the hooker, Isaac Miski. In the back row, Rory Ropati, Dion Snell and Joseph Price locking the scrum. And on the bench, for the Russell Gordon Mount Albert Lions, 15, Marcus Fraser. He'll be the captain when he comes onto the park. Tony Ulupau, Solomoni Makahili, and Chaz Brown. So those are your 2 teams for today's SAS Fox Memorial Premiership clash. And already the Ball Boys excited for this one. Troy, I think everyone's excited for this one. Huge game, and having the Conaka Minolta Root Rooster on the line just adds another facet to it. Really looking forward to this one. The weather a little bit of a dampener, but I think we're going to see some quality footy today.
Absolutely, man, and just the vibe from talking to the 2 coaches. The chairman certainly pumped up in the pre-match interviews. There's going to be some good vibe around it. Both teams are in good form and expecting a big day out here today at the home of the Glenora Bears. In regards to the Glenora have chosen to kick off with Mount Albert receiving, and I want to thank all the volunteers today as we get ready for getting my breath back. As we're getting ready for kick-off, the Glenora Bears are running left from right to left, away from the clubhouse end.
And here we go, underway here at Harold Moody Park, off the boot of Glenora, and it's a bouncing one down into the end goal. We have had a very, very late change to this one. Eplahami Loaki failing a late fitness test, so in his place we will confirm the starter there, but back underway we go. And Troy, early on, we're going to be
great little settle there from Rory Ropati as he settles into the line. And Mount Albert trying to grind it out from inside their 20. Good energy, good chat from the D of the Glenora Bears. Another great run there, good strong carry.
Joining you back now, Troy, a bit of a late scramble. We've had a very late change. Hami Luaki failing to overcome a late fitness test, Troy, which is going to be a huge loss for them now, as we see an early mistake from the Glenora Bears and into touch. So drama off the field with Hami Luaki, a late withdrawal.
So we've got Mount Albert coming up now, ready to reset, along with Glenora as they head into the scrum.
And really a nightmare start there for Glenora. Troy spilling the ball loose after Mount Albert had a pretty good start to that game, so they're now going to pack down a scrum about 30 off the line. So we do have Shane Ream refereeing with us today, one of the top referees in New Zealand, so great to have Shane's expertise in the middle for what is a huge game today. So away we go with Mount Albert taking it forward there. A nice initial carry. Miski gets into dummy half, finds Snell. Snell taken and a good tackle led by Zach Tippin. Zach, one of the many former Mount Albert Lions players in the squad now. Passini takes it forward. Boys, hard to bring down. They get there in numbers.
Good leg drive.
Miski now misses out one, looks to cut
Drop.
back on the inside, but a little drop there, and I dare say we're going to see plenty of that today, Troy. If
Yeah, it's going to be one of the keys. I think both coaches sort of alluded to it, and that is, you know, ball retention, you know, complete their set of 6, and I don't think they'll be going too wide to the edges too early as they, you know, just try to grind it out and make sure they complete their 6s. Mount Albert's got great energy on the chat. A lot of communication going on out there, and during their warm-up, they were certainly, you know, fairly vocal, and you may be picking that up off the ARL live stream here today. Ground is definitely damp underfoot, and whilst it's sort of slowed down to a wee bit of a sprinkle with the old rain, at least it's nothing like it was first thing this morning where it was a bit torrential, and the ground is certainly paying for it. So, Mount Albert on the return. Bounced out of the tackle, got away.
Cortez Tahulu there, nice work in Troy. We have called a few Mount Albert games over the last few weeks. Cortez really impressive at the back, particularly on the kick returns. And again, that time doing some good work. So good start here for the Russell Gordon Mount Albert Lions. Miski looks towards his left. Michael Butson involved, another of those players that was on the SAS Fox Memorial debut last week. Really impressive in the centres, along with Mania Osborne in the halves. As Joseph Price takes it forward, and Troy, you mentioned a good hit there, and he's felt it. I'm not sure who that is down. Zach Tippin's looking a little worse for wear, so we will monitor that situation for you now as Mount Albert really starting to make some yardage through the middle. They'll pep up Passini that time. Out towards the right, Osborne on the ball. Osborne up over the top. It's a good kick. The chase is good from both teams. Ball loose, and we're going to wait for confirmation from our referee. It's anyone's ball at this stage. Shane Ream having a quick chat to his touchy. Looks like he's walking to the spot, and we are going to have first points of the game. So the Mount Albert Lions strike first. 4 points to 0 over the Glenora Bears, and just a clever little kick over the top off the boot of Mania Osborne. And in these conditions, of course, the bounce of the ball, Troy, can be a little deceiving, and in that case, just looked like it caught Glenora a little bit unawares.
Yeah, mate, and I think too is, you know, look, we've just sort of gone 4 minutes into the match. Outside of Glenora's kickoff, it's been Mount Albert down inside their half, down inside their territory, and they've been looking for the opportunity, and they've managed to, you know, secure a couple of points there. Going to be a difficult kick. And one of the things too, during this course of this live stream match, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see if we can pick up audio from our referees from time to time. Something new we're trying. Please give us feedback, you know, let us know, put a comment on the Facebook page or on the YouTube replay channels after the matches get uploaded either this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. As we wait for the kick to come, the weather's going to play a little bit in this game, going to play its part, Corey?
Yeah, that's right, especially on the goal kicking. And, of course, we've got a new goal kicker today with Mark Graham out on 20s duty with the Warriors over in Townsville. So Trent Wallace to convert from out wide. And it's a pretty good kick, just going to sneak to the left of the upright. So it will remain the Russell Gordon Mount Albert Lions 4, Greyland Tavern, Glenora Bears 0. But an ideal start from the Lions, 4-0 up after as many minutes. And now Glenora back to halfway to get things restarted.
Good strong support here today too down at Glenora Bears. A lot of people out with the umbrellas over the far side there. And a big thank you to Luana Kim, who's our match manager here today for the SAS Fox Memorial Round 14. So one of our linesmen who's just come from the reserve game has turned up and getting set as Shane now gets ready to restart the match.
So back underway we go off the boot of Glenora, and it's a low line drive down towards Trent Wallace, nicely picked up off the feet. in these wet conditions, and a big return from La Peppa Piscini off the back fence now, but met at an equally enthusiastic tackle from the Glenora Bears. Tolson Caird leading the way on that one with a little bit of wrestle at the end of it. So plenty of feeling in this one. We did mention in the pre-match a number of boys in this Glenora team who were formerly Mount Albert Lions players, won premierships at Mount Albert. Got the likes of Tolson Caird, Zach Tippins, Jordan Toure. So plenty of players in this squad who have played for each other in the past. Speaking to Swape Kavaliku today, mentioned that this is always one that the boys look forward to, one they circle on the calendar. So Mount Albert now work it up towards halfway. Miski directing a little bit of traffic at the bottom of dummy half now, out towards the right, and it finds Osborne, who dinks a little kick over the top, but it's taken on the full this time by James Tomata, who returns the ball with a bit of gusto, but good line speed from the Mount Albert Lions, and they take him back an extra 5 metres. So nice work there from the Mount Albert Lions. Glenora now left to ruck it out. They've got a fair bit of work to do here, do the home side in the early exchanges. And that rain's starting to come down a little bit again here at Harold Moody Park. They inch up towards halfway. Tolson Caird on the carry this time. Joseph Price involved in the tackle now, making some good yardage in the latter part of this set are the Glenora Bears. It's a hit up just on halfway now, and appeals for a penalty, and it is forthcoming. So there we go, a bit of a leg up there. Zach Tippins keen to get things back underway.
So the rain's just starting to open up a little bit, Corey, and in the background I've been nailing off our tent and securing us just to make sure that we don't end up with Noah in the ark. Oh, great little run there by the Glenora Bears. He's chewed up a few metres, and they start marching towards the Mount Albert Lions goal line.
So the Bears now marching forward, heading in towards the 20. Big Swape there with a good carry, met in a tackle down low. Joseph Price heavily involved in the defence early on in this one, and these new Glenora jerseys not really helpful on the commentator, very hard to make out the numbers, so do apologise if we get a couple of them wrong, as Tomata now gets into dummy half. Spreads play back towards the middle of the park, there's no mistaking. Big Swape, who goes one, goes two, three, get there eventually, just pull him down short here. Swape, look out for the dart from Zach Tippins. It ends up being a slow play of the ball, so they head out towards the left. Toure dribbles a little kick in behind, ball is loose, appeals for a try, the ball's still loose. We're waiting for confirmation from our referee. It is going to be play on, that is the call.
And there's a wee bit of a conversation going on down there.
So a pause now, where we will have a quick chat.
And linesman's on having a bit of advice.
So it looks like we may have a Mount Albert scrum at the end of all this. We will wait for confirmation on that one. The boys taking the opportunity to have a bit of a rest as they make their way to the scrum, but a pretty frantic start to this game here at Harold Moody Park, as you would expect. Third on the table, coming up against fourth on the table. Two high-quality teams, both coming off victories last week. Glenora getting up for a win over Mangere East, and of course Mount Albert, who could forget that big victory over the Point Chevrolet Pirates, 40 points to 4. Out at Felds Park. So it is a Glenora ball to restart play, so they have survived with possession now and pushed up right on this line here. So here come the Bears. Tippins into dummy half, hands it off to Kingy. Kingy to Takalua. Sully now into dummy half, comes back towards the middle where they find Manukia. Manukia takes one with him, takes two with him, looking to get the ball away. It's an ill-advised offload in the end. Ball has spilt loose. And I think we're going to have a knock-on off a Mount Albert player here. So Glenora with plenty of ball in these early exchanges. Of course, if you've just joined us, Glenora lost Hami Loaki late to a fitness test. Such an experienced player to lose, of course. Former New Zealand Warriors player, played for the Bradford Bulls as well, and Manly Seagulls back in the NRL. And a representative level playing for the Kiwis and Mate Maatonga. So a huge loss for Glenora, but not affecting them too much so far. They're down on the scoreboard, but enjoying a nice little purple patch here now as they head out towards the left. And a nice initial bump off there from Alo. Toure now into dummy half. Toure darts initially, hands it off to Big Swape. Takes another one, well taken down in the end by Joseph Price. Tippins surveying his options, looks out towards the left, dummies, spins. Kingy. Pea Manukia. Manukia still standing. He's a big unit, getting the arm free. taken down just short of the line here. So Mount Albert holding strong as it is. Rory Ropati there, stumbling back to the defensive line. Tippins, Toure dummies, steps, beats the initial one, but not beating Joseph Price. Good defence here from the Mount Albert Lions, right up against the line here. Referee Shane Ream says go back and play the ball on the mark, so he hits him on the short line, very close to the line. Nice tackle from Rory Ropati, gets him onto his back. Tippins now out towards the right edge. Kingy puts a little kick through. It's going to be a little bit too heavy, and Cortez Taulu watches that one go dead. So great work there from the Mount Albert Lions in defence. They had just 3 sets consecutively camped on their line, so really good work there from the visitors, and they hold out. So it remains Mount Albert Lions 4, Glenora Bears 0. 11 minutes gone in this one, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. As the Lions now come up over halfway, but there's a little fumble in there which pleases the Glenora contingent. Plenty of claps going on there from the boys. So a bit of a let off there, and they're going to pack down the scrum here. Round 15 of the competition, of course, including this one. 4 games remaining in the season. 18-round premiership before we split off into the finals, where we will have the top 4. And we mentioned the battle at the bottom, just as exciting as the one at the top. The Mangere East Hawks and Te Atatu Roosters look like going down to the wire in terms of fighting for survival in the Fox Memorial Premiership. So now Glenora get us back underway. Tolson Caird, big bumping run there, fends off the initial one from Piscini. Ball is loose, play on the call at this stage, and it is indeed play on, so Glenora maintain possession. 20 metres off the line now. Tippins goes short to Caird. Dummied and then took the hit. And we got a penalty at the end of all that. So this one's starting to, I guess, find the feet in the contest. Troy starting to see these two teams kind of get into the wrestle a little bit, and well, you can tell they're two quality sides. The battle in the middle initially very fierce. Tolson Caird leading the way for the Bears, and again on the hit up this time. Yeah, they've got good personnel on both sides, and definitely being able to, you know, play extremely well given the conditions. If you've just joined us on the live stream, the link is available on the Auckland Rugby League website, aucklandleague.co.nz, and once you've clicked the link, gone through, please make certain that you hit the play button so you can get the live feed through. Just had a couple of text messages in, and they were struggling a wee bit to get the live feed, so make sure you hit the play button on the left hand side, and away you go. Back to the action though. Corey's back in the commentary box with us, and the ball's just gone into Mount Albert's hands, waiting for the referee to make that call on that one, and he's going to suggest it's a scrum, so they're going to get ready to pack down. Yeah, so a couple of sloppy errors starting to come into this one now, and no wonder given the conditions in Troy. When we got here this morning, very flooded the field, parts of it underwater. It has improved a little bit, and a credit to the groundsman, it's actually in pretty good nick. There's not a lot of mud around, and things going pretty well, so it is going to be the Lions who pack down the scrum. And away we go now, so the Lions working it out of yardage. Osborne on the carry there. And a bit of second phase from the Lions, so starting to see a little bit more creativity in this team, and there is a penalty, the one they wanted. Zach Tippins not happy with it. They roll away, and calls to reset their defensive line against Big Swape, not in any rush to get back. As Osborne lines up for the kick for touch. It comes in now up over the Auckland Rugby League tent down here at Harold Moody Park. And away we go. So a tap and go from Corey Sita. Takes it up over halfway. Miski now into dummy half. Finds Price. Price takes it into the heart of the Glenora defence. Been about 15 minutes gone in the first half, and it's certainly gone very, very quickly. They've gone up and down the field and playing extremely good football considering the conditions. So the Lions now working into good ball. Miski appealing for a penalty, nothing coming. hands it off to Wallace. Wallace goes out to the left. Michael Butson puts on a little bit of footwork, puts Tua into space. Tua darts back inside, gets a nice little offload. Now we're starting to see some second phase here. Rory Ropati with the offload. Now Wallace steps back inside, so enterprising stuff here from the Mount Albert Lions despite the conditions. Now Miskey hands off to Price, goes back to Osborne, nice little dink over the top. Here we go, what have they got? Up over the top, athletic jump initially, but I think it's going to be a knock-on off the hands of Tama Pasini. But Troy, the kicking game of Manaia Osborne, he's already set up one try. We saw it last week. Those little dinks over the top, an accurate kicking game can make such a difference at this level.
Absolutely, and I think they'll turn that into an opportunity, and the kicks are going to be very, very important today, as long as they execute them correctly.
So they compound the error there with a penalty, so Glenora now with a chance to set up camp in the Mount Albert half. But great to see Mount Albert playing plenty of footy, despite the wet conditions.
Great to see all the support too, not just out on the opposite side of the field that are in camera view at the moment. There's a lot of people out behind us on the main road area watching this game down here. So if you've got nothing on today, ladies and gentlemen, come down and join us. Failing that, you know, make sure that you share and like the live stream, courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League.
So back into it we go. Nice carry there from Paio Manukia. Tippins gets a quick play of the ball. They're dangerous here as Kidd goes out wide. Big Graham saw Paul with the carry. Tion Snell meets him, eventually takes him to ground. Kidd on the ball again. Plenty of touches early for Tolson now as Manukia is cut down low by Butson.
And a big shout out to our sponsors, the SAS Sporting Apparel, sponsor the Fox Memorial, and of course Conacher Minolta, the major sponsors of the Root Rooster.
So Mount Albert continuing to hold strong on their line. Tippins looks out towards the left. They've got some space here. Do the Bears. The initial one is spilt by Pasini, but cleaned up eventually by Cortez Taulu. So it is going to be a line dropout, so repeat sets of the ball for the Glenora Bears. And starting to put together some nice footy here are the home side. Bit of a rough start for them. Conceded a try after 4 minutes, but finding their way into this contest now. So Mount Albert to get us back underway off the boot.
And the kick is starting to play an important part of the game. You know, they've gone to the ground a couple of times down here and just haven't been able to turn it into, you know, points on the board. But most tries so far, the 2 tries at least, have come off the end of a kick.
So Ture hands it off to Graham Suapo, and who would be a defender there? Big carry back from Suapo off the bench. Tippins now into dummy half out towards the right. Kidd takes it to the line, hands it off to Swan.
Sorry, Corey, I need to correct myself. 1 try off the kick, the other one was disallowed.
So Glenora now really pressing as Tippins goes for a little dart out of dummy half, just engaging those markers. Gets the hand free as well. Great play there from Zach Tippins.
Ooh.
And they've gone very close, have the Glenora Bears. In fact, they have gone all the way.
2
Shane
players
Reed
and a trainer in the way.
points to the spot, and we have a tied ball game. So nice play there, and it all came off the back of Zach Tippins. Darted out of dummy half, engaged the markers, and managed to get the offload free. And from there, Glenora finished the job. So great work from the Bears.
There's a Russell Gordon-sponsored Mount Albert line over there just behind the touchline. Looked like he took a bit of a shoulder injury. I think it is the Ropati lad.
Yeah, it is Rory Ropati there down on the haunches. So we will wait and see what happens there.
And to his mum, Tania and John, who are overseas in the UK at the moment. Hopefully they're enjoying the live stream as we're streaming live around the world. And to all the friends in Australia, in from Brisbane, Sydney, the UK, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying the SAS Fox Memorial. The main game for this week, round 14, as the Mount Albert Lions are being hosted by the Glenora Bears. Round 15. Thank you, Corey. Okay, that was a test for everyone, and hopefully you've playing the competition and letting us know on the Facebook page. So, getting ready now for the restart.
Yeah, and the kick successful from the Glenora Bears, so they take the lead here as we approach 20 minutes gone in this one.
And I think the kicks today are going to be important. The kicks on goals, conversions, you know, are going to play maybe a strong part of the outcome at the end of the 80 minutes, Corey.
So back to halfway we go, and Trent Wallace is going to get us back underway here. Referee says away we go. And it's a high one down towards the car park end of the ground here at Harold Moody Park. And now Big Graham carries it back off the back fence. And boy, there are some big boppers on display today, Troy. We see, I guess, a couple of teams with a couple of big players, but across the board, this Glenora team fairly large in Mount Albert, probably lacking a little bit of size on last year, but certainly more than holding their own in the middle battle. Of course, the Piscini boys crucial in that one. They've been excellent the last few weeks. We have watched them now as Tippins comes into dummy half on the play of the ball, out the back door, and they go to Kingy, who puts it over the top, finds Taulu on the full, so not the ideal kick off the boot for Phil there.
Mount Albert slowly walking back into formation as they're getting ready to grind it outside their 30. Just on the 40-metre line now. Good strong carry up to the halfway.
Nice contact as well from Aaron Swan. Come out towards this left edge. Price hands it off. So Mount Albert now pushing up into good ball positioning. Tony Ulupau onto the field now. He's made a real difference the last few weeks. He has come on. This one's a high one, down towards the back, but well cleaned up, I think, by Polima Siaki. Nicely taken in the end. So plenty of talk going on in terms of line speed here from the Mount Albert Lions.
Yeah, and I think they executed that really well last week, Corey. You know, we talked about size only moments ago, and they make that up from speed and sheer determination.
Yeah, that's right, and I guess the sort of performance they had last week against Point Chev, it's got to breed a lot of confidence in this team in terms of what they are able to do. But let's not forget, Glenora has beaten both Mount Albert and Point Chev at stages this year as well. So the Bears with plenty of reason to believe now as Graham Sawpaw puts the kick in behind. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but anyway, a kick's a kick. So the big fella gets some unexpected kick meters to the name. Taulu cleans up at the back. But what it has done is give the Lions positive field positioning to start this one now, and a penalty to compound things. So not a great couple of minutes there for the Glenora Bears.
Yeah, and gets them to reignite again, and here they come in hard and fast.
And watch out for the introduction of Marcus Fraser onto the park. Watch for his spark out of dummy half. Any quick play of the balls, you know this guy's going to dart. Has a different outlook on the game when he comes off the bench as Osborne now comes out towards the right edge. Sita on the ball. Nice covering tackle there from Toure. Passini feeds the ball out of the ruck. Dion Snell fends off one, fends off two. They get their numbers, Glenora, and stop him short. So they're making good yardage here, are the Mount Albert Lions. Again, keep an eye on dummy half. Marcus Fraser fresh on the park. Loves to dart as Tony Ulupau unfortunately has put that one down. And Glenora survives. So good line speed there from the Bears to hold things out. And they survived that one.
And a quick one from around the grounds. Report Northcote 8, Howick 6.
Yeah, big game out there in terms of Howick's hopes of pushing on for that Rukatai Shield minor premiership. Of course, Howick currently sitting 2 points off the lead in the competition, so a big game for the Hornets, but Northcote super impressive in the second part of the competition, led by the likes of Taylor Daniels and Morgan Timothy Cook at the back as well, playing some awesome footy.
Just as the referee blows that up before the scrum goes down, a big shout out to our brothers out the back here listening to the live stream. Thumbs up, guys. Well done, well done. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the match live as well as listening to us. That'll make your day. So, conversation's over with the referee and the scrum down there too, Corey, as we get ready to go back to the main game.
We're having chats all round here at Harold Moody Park, and it pays to do something to keep warm. It is a bit of a chilly one down here in West Auckland, but the Bears get things back underway now, and they ruck it out, and that's a nice little carry there, out of danger from Alo. Toure gets involved out of dummy half. Been heavily involved early, has got involved in the yardage work as well as Tippins now wants a quick play of the ball.
Good offload there, keeping it alive.
Second phase continues things. Swan takes it up just short of halfway now. Tolson Caird initially looked like receiving the ball, but Tippins instead just goes for the safety option. Kicks down towards Taulu. Good chase from, I think it was Toure.
Bounced out of that first contact. Mount Albert still getting back into formation.
Butson now comes in looking for work. A graduate of the Melbourne Storm under-20 system. Michael, back now to play the remainder of the season with the Lions, along with Manaia Osborne. Joined them last week in a bit of a mid-season boost for the Lions. Now as Osborne just about breaks free. Play on is still the call, so he's still going. Tricky customer to bring down. Ends up finding his halves partner, Trent Wallace. Takes it up over halfway now. Fraser into dummy half. Heads towards the middle of the park. Passini takes it. Beats the initial one before taken by Swan and Tolson Caird at the back.
Had a couple of good carries. The front rower there.
Price takes it forward. Fraser wants the quick play of the ball. Finds Wallace. Dribbles a little kick in behind. Chase is non-existent from the Lions and it dribbles dead innocuously. So good defence again there from the Glenora Bears, just keeping the Lions far enough away that they had to sort of finish with a long-range kick and don't find a result on the end of it. So really high-quality game so far in this one. Two forward packs taking it to each other in these early exchanges. Troy, we've seen some big collisions. And no doubt that's going to be where this one's won, those middle battles.
Absolutely, and as we said earlier, you know, there's a wee bit of intent with the both packs. Oh, great run. He's bust the line, Corey. He's gone.
Excellent carry there. It's still going.
Still
and
going.
It's going to go all the way. And
Got the fed, got the fed.
Fantastic try. Daniel Rielu. What a carry from the big fella. Broke, I think, 2 tackles on halfway. Troy beat another one, put the fend out, and just went all the way. What a carry from the big fella. And he will extend the Glenora Bears lead. So fantastic work there from the Bears. And against the run of play, nothing much happening. No,
he'll be, that would have been a 90-metre run by the time they get to the bar tonight, my friend. That's going to bring a lot of vibe, not just from the supporters around the ground, but look at the guys as they're walking back. That was a beautiful try, great run, and showed not just the turn of speed, but also good, strong upper body strength with the fend. Great to see.
So lovely play from the Greyland Tavern Glenora Bears there to extend their lead. So it is 10 points to 4. They lead with kick to come.
And speaking of the Greyland Tavern, they'll be down there. There's another little tavern down on Tiaraha. I'd like to big shout out to Lorraine down there, and it's good to be working alongside young Corey again. He helps give me guidance and counselling, and I understand that buy a jug and get a free jug is in play again today. And young Troy, the chef there today, hasn't poisoned anybody this week, so he's going to be turning out free hamburgers, I'm told, Corey.
And I'm sure they'll appreciate the weekly plug there, Troy, as Phil Kingy prepares to convert just about from the sideline here at Harold Moody Park.
Yeah, big wide kick. It's on his natural side, though. No wind to contend with, just a heavy ground. As he comes in, strikes the ball and way up to the right-hand side of the SAS post.
So the score remains 10 points to 4. The Greyland Tavern Glenora Bears leading the Russell Gordon Contractors Mount Albert Lions here in round 15 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Of course, don't forget we do also have the Conacher Minolta Root Rooster on the line. So a big day out here in West Auckland as Mount Albert come back towards halfway. And Troy, the mindset of Mount Albert, they obviously made a really positive start. Haven't had it their way in the last few minutes. What will their mindset be right now?
Mate, they're professionals. They'll come back and they'll play with patience and make sure that they, you know, execute the rest of the game plan. As we watch one of the match managers being addressed by the Mount Albert manager as they're getting ready for another interchange.
So Glenora now.
Mount Albert's tails are up, eh? Sorry, Glenora's tails are up. The bear tail, the bear tail.
The bear tail. Do bears have tails?
Yeah, they do. A little wee
topic
tail.
for another day. But anyway, Swan takes us up towards halfway. And he's met by Joseph Price. Tippins down to dummy half. It's a slow play of the ball. By the end of it, Tolson Caird takes it forward. What a warrior this guy has been over the years. Of course, won a Fox with Mount Albert, appeared in those series of runner-up years where they were beaten by Point Chevalier over the years. A real veteran of the Auckland scene, still going strong. Represented Auckland a couple of years ago against New Zealand Māori. Big contact there, Troy. Hear the ooh in the background and some cheers from the sideline.
There was a big ooh in here too, just quietly. I think that if you listen quietly in the background, there might have been a little cheer hoo.
So back to it we go. I think it's Price there with a little bit of footwork, battling in the play of the ball.
So as Mount Albert start to grind it out, a big shout out to one of their other major sponsors, Glass Projects. Thank you very much for your support with the Mount Albert Lions.
One thing we do know about Mount Albert, Troy, and we've seen it over the last few weeks, they've got excellent game management, particularly between their halves, Trent Wallace, and now with the addition of Manaia Osborne. They handle their sets really well, and particularly finishes to sets. They're usually pretty well on point with that.
Yep. Now it'll be interesting to see what the Glenora Bears do now to get outside their cage. And one thing you want to see is a big bear getting out of a cage. See what I did there, Corey?
Yes, that's right. The bear puns will be coming all day, I feel. More
And
so from my colleague than myself. You've always been...
Cage being their 10, their 20.
Thank you for the clarification on that one. For those at home just joining in now, it is a specialty of my colleagues, the puns. We've had it all year. I dare say we'll have it for the remainder of our broadcast. Of course, we have been bringing you live streams all throughout the year. We've done the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, did Women in League round a couple of weeks ago. Soon we're going to be bringing you the SAS College Rugby League, a 3-week schedule of that coming up as well.
August 2nd on that one, mate.
Yeah,
August
really
2nd.
looking forward to that. So do join us on Wednesday nights, Wednesday afternoons I should say. We'll be streaming from 4 p.m. Really looking forward to that getting underway. But in the meantime, we have another match which really now is starting to become quite the arm wrestle as Ture finds touch, or finds space I should say. Kick returned nicely there by Tua after initially stalling. Taulu now into dummy half. Darts out, makes a couple of cheap yards. Breaks off the initial attempted tackle. Fraser now coming into dummy half. He's got big Tony Ulupau to his right, goes left instead. Michael Butson coming in, looking for a little bit of work. Big Ulupau winds up, takes it up over halfway. Excellent carry there from the big fella who gives the tackler
Good strong wrestle in the stand-up too.
a little pat on the head for his troubles. And now they come out to this right edge, and they've got numbers here if they can execute to Manalbert. Sita on the ball, puts a little kick back and behind. Siaki on the chase, looking to wish it dead.
Ooh.
Just picks it up in the end, and well advised to pick it up there. Troy
Yeah.
Corey Sita was right on his back.
Seeing the ball sort of hit the wet patch there, it sort of changed up and then actually got the skid on and then picked up its momentum again to carry through.
So repeat sets for the Mount Albert Lions, and again, we just highlighted their game management. Excellent kick there, and that was from the centre, Corey Sita. But more importantly, I guess, the kick chase, super impressive as we await the restart of play. Good crowd down here at Harold Moody Park. You can see the car park nice and full behind our SAS bolsters there. And the Bears preparing to get us back underway. So about 8 minutes remaining in the first half here. Round 15 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and away we go. Siaki gets things back underway. The kick initially allowed to bounce, trapped on the foot by Taulu, who hands it off to Big Passini.
Passini's been busy today. He's had a couple of good carries and he's tried really hard in bending the line.
Yeah, my apologies on that one. We did have a number change, which I've missed there. It was Simoni Makahili on the carry there, so apologies if we do get a couple of the players' names wrong through the broadcast. As Big Tony now, there's no mistaking him. Big carry there, commanding plenty of defensive attention now. Not far off the line here are the Mount Albert Lions. Price goes back door. They turn Snell back inside. Snell beats the first. Nicely finished off there by the Bears, holding strong on their line. Glenora leading 10 points to 4. 7 minutes remaining here in the first half at Harold Moody Park. They switch left. Wallace, Butson. They're getting there in numbers are the Bears. Fraser darts left, hands it off.
Oh, spilt out over the sideline.
So all credit there to Glenora, but Mount Albert, some nice little combinations coming out in attack, showing plenty with the ball. Hasn't quite come off on a number of occasions now, but you get the feeling points aren't far away for the Mount Albert Lions here. Playing some really good stuff, particularly down at that end of the field now as Glenora look to ruck it out.
Good hit.
Yeah, nice contact there from Mount Albert. I'm just going to say, Troy, important set for Mount Albert that they can contain this Glenora pack. They're starting to get a little bit of a roll on with some of their big bodies in particular.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the halftime chat is with both coaches. I think Bernard will be looking for more of the same from his big pack. And Mount Albert, I guess, will be wanting to emulate what they did last week in regards to, you know, being strong around the ruck and strong in the wrestle.
So nice
Good
little kick there, yeah, finds a bit of space down towards the softball club end. Tua picks it up. They get there in numbers, so good work there from Glenora on their kick chase. Looking to cage Mount Albert down inside the 20. Butson comes down the left edge. Big contact there from Kingy over the top.
Yeah, three
Finishes
Bears in
the
that
job.
one.
Chaz Brown coming off. New onto the park is Chaz. As Fraser now, here we go, there is that running game out of dummy half, which we just mentioned. And Fraser eventually taken down, but not before he makes 25, 30 odd metres. Great carry there from the captain. Now Wallace gets into dummy half, puts a little kick over the top, fielded on the full by Glenora. So nice work again there from Mount Albert, marched downfield, helped off the back by that break from Marcus Fraser.
That was diffused fairly well, you know, like took a wee bit of the pressure off, and as you see, you know, no different with the strategy from the Mount Albert Lions, bringing Marcus in off the bench. Certainly changes gear, and as you said, you know, gets the odd dart away and puts the teams under pressure.
So back to the action. Swape met up over the top by Fraser. I dare say Swape doesn't get put down like that too often. Fraser again involved in the tackle. Aaron Booth now onto the park, kicks out of dummy half. Again, it's going to find grass. And the chase this time a little bit slower from the Bears, perhaps feeling the effects of a couple of high intensity sets. And Mount Albert take it out to about 30 off the line. So a little bit of action on the interchange bench down here at Harold Moody Park as they look to finish this game on the high. About 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Price takes up towards the 40. Dion Snell
had a couple of good strong runs today. Dion, good carries, and has protected the ball well. Shifting to the left side again.
Tolson Caird down low in the tackle there on his opposite number, Price. Fraser back towards the middle, finds Osborne, who puts it high. But fielded on the full at the back by Siaki. Puts on a little bit of a step and goes his way. And just looking there, Troy, a little bit of talk in back play from some of the boys there. You can tell they know each other well. A lot of these boys, of course, played together in the Mount Albert side over the last few years. Some of them...
And rep sides as well, too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
Teammates as well. So plenty of talk going on here. And this one is Swape.
Pass.
Breaks the initial one. He's still going as Big Swape, looking for the offload. No one with him. The big fella says, come on, boys, I've got to do it all on my own. Now gets the penalty as well. Great play from Kavaleku. Gets the penalty. And this is going to set Glenora up.
So having a little breather, having a little breather. Yeah, might have twinged one of the athletic hamstrings there.
I think he might have taken a bit of a hit in the tackle down low there, so getting a bit of attention in back
And
play.
it's actually good to see him on the field, because he was doubtful in regards to being sick, but he's had a couple of great carries. Oh, Zach made that? No. Oh!
Fine touch, that's a huge hit.
And he didn't fail to find the player.
That is a huge hit. So the Bears fail to find touch and really let a golden chance to win the half on a high. They let it slip away.
Everyone's lining up and getting really keen now. They're starting to really charge the line, and there's 3 bears in that tackle. Big bear, little bear, and medium-sized bear. Yeah, just
Price
trying to slow it down a wee bit.
Up towards halfway now, and as you mentioned, Troy, the Bears just trying to engage a little bit of wrestle, slow things down a little bit here. I think they'd be pretty happy to go to the sheds with this lead. Been an interesting half. Certainly Mount Albert had the early running, but since then Glenora, the combination of their ability to roll through the middle and also their goal line defence, have done some good stuff. But Mount Albert forced into touch on that occasion, and that may mean that the Bears finish the half with the ball in hand. We've got about a minute and a half remaining here at Harold Moody Park as the rain starts to come down again.
And if you are about and around the Auckland region watching games, please text us. Let us know what your score is at your field. Text us on 021 932 823 as we go to the halftime break.
Big Swape says we'll take it to halfway. Thank you very much. And that will do us. So that is the end of the first half here in this SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. And it is the Greyland Tavern Glenora Bears leading the Russell and Gordon Mount Albert Lions 10 points to 4. And we are going to have a bit of a catch-up at half-time. So we will now hand over to Gordy Gibbons from the ARL Board of Directors, who's going to talk you through a few of the results from the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup and some of the other competitions going on in the Auckland Rugby League. So we will see you again in about 9 minutes' time here in round 15 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership at Harold Moody Park.
Great to have Gordy back with us, and mate, we can turn our attention because you're one of the best men in the game for this. We're going to have a wee bit of an update in regards to the Sharman Cup Crown Lift Trucks action. So these are the results from last week's round and what the table looks like, and then what we've got coming up. So
well, there you go. And as I spoke before, there's been some great results from the Crown Lift Trucks Premiership, and Otahu. Two losses in a row, going down to the Marlins, 36 points to 24. I'll tell you what, the old Marlins not looking too bad considering where they're on the table too. I mean, they're not exactly up the top, in 6th spot, taking on the #1 Leopards, so they did extremely well indeed. Bay Roskell too, I've watched a couple of their games this year. They're playing some good football as well. 34 points to 20 over the Ponsonby Ponies, and I tell you what, the Ponies fancy their chances this year as well. But Bay Roskell, they're still in that top 4 and looking good for a finals berth. Ellerslie Eagles, oh dear, I don't know what's going on there, but again, the Otara Scorpions are certainly playing some good football, and they showed that last week against the Ellerslie Eagles, 74 points to 8. Certainly a hiding there in anybody's language. Newland Stags, they took Papatoe Panthers 46 points to 26. So yeah, I'll tell you what, the old Sharman Cup Crown Lift Trucks not looking too bad indeed. And if I can just make a couple of comments about the first 40 minutes here at Harold Moody Park in Glen Eden. 10 points to 4. I think that's a pretty fair indication of the scoreline. Some wonderful football considering the conditions, and I'll tell you what, a try for the highlights reel, the number 11 from the Glenora Bears. What a wonderful, wonderful try. Reminded me of Frank Tinatilia way back in the day when he scored a runaway try against the Wainui Amata in the, I think it was called the Tusk Cup or something back in those days. But yeah, he had a wonderful try in the left-hand corner as we sit here at the broadcasting commentary spot. So yeah, fair indication of the game so far. 10 points to 4. Mount Albert started well, but it wasn't long before the Glenora Bears put 4 on, and they've looked the better team so far, especially in the last 20 of the first half.
And Goody, if we turn our attention to the games being played in the Crown Lift Sharman Cup rounds for this weekend, Bay Roskell up against Papatoe Panthers. How do you see that one going?
Oh, once again, this should be a good matchup actually, but I'm going to give that one to Bay Roskell Vikings. So I don't know what the score is at half time, so I'm going blind here, but Bay Roskell I think will take that one. The Marlins will be a wee bit too strong for the Ellerslie Eagles. Otara Scorpions over the Newland Stags. This is going to be a tight one, but I'm going to go with the home team. Otara Scorpions out at Ngāti Otara are always tough, and against the Newland Stags they'll need it. I'm going to give that to them by 2 points. Ponsonby Ponies against the Otahu Leopards. Well, if the Otahu Leopards don't pick themselves up and take the Ponies on this weekend by a considerable margin, beat them by a considerable margin, they certainly need to go back to the scoreboard. Otahu Leopards by 20 there at Victoria Park.
And as we turn our attention to the SAS Fox Memorial, the other games on around the Auckland region, Northcote up against Howick. How do you see that one going?
Well, hasn't this Northcote team certainly turned their season around? At the start of the year, all they were wanting to do was stay in the Fox for 2018. I don't think they've got any problems there. And against the Howick Hornets, they are going to struggle a wee bit. But at Northcote, anything can happen. We'll give that one to the Howick Hornets. Richmond Bulldogs against the Mangere East Hawks. Of course, the Hawks sitting at the bottom of the table, and they will not be too happy at all. They're probably the second biggest club in New Zealand behind the Manurewa Marlins. So Richmond Bulldogs will take it right to the Mangere East Hawks, and if the Hawks are going to save their season, today will be it, but unfortunately the Bulldogs will be too strong. Well, we're at Glenora Bears versus the Mount Albert Lions. I'm going to stay with the Glenora Bears. They love playing here at Harold Moody. Not a bad crowd here considering the conditions as well. Glenora will hold on. It will be tight, but I'm going to give that to them by 2 points. Te Atatu against the Papakura Seagulls at Te Atatu. Te Atatu certainly have shown some form so far this year, but they need to be a wee bit more consistent. Papakura have struggled quite considerably over the last couple of weeks. They did get the win last week though, didn't they? So they're certainly coming back into it. There's no chance, I don't think, of making the top 4, but they will be too strong for the Papakura for Te Atatu at Te Atatu Roosters home ground there at Te Atatu Park, at Jack Colvin Park. Point Chevalier Pirates against the Marist Saints. Well, we all know what happened to Point Chevalier Pirates at the hand of the Mount Albert Lions last weekend. They will not let that happen again this week, and of course Marist are struggling. Point Chevalier Pirates by 10.
Thanks, Gordy. An absolute rock star on the update. In regards to a quick update for Rewa against Ellerslie, Manurewa is 30 points to 0 over there at that match.
Well, there you go.
So, in regards to football and getting around the path, there's another ARL director here, I believe.
Yes, I think Evelyn Brooke is in the house as well, so it's always great to support the local game, and we're yeah, absolutely rapt to be out here at Harold Moody Park.
And Corey Rosser joining you again with Gordy, and Gordy, I guess a really good example of a high quality Fox Memorial Premiership clash today, but something that's jumped out at me this season. The quality across the board, it seems like it's a bit more even this year, I guess, so far. The battles at the top and the bottom of the ladder, some pretty exciting stuff out there, no matter what the game is.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And we spoke about that pre-game too, didn't we, Corey, that the standard of football this year has been not too bad at all, and just so impressed with both teams. And we also said that both these teams would play open running rugby league, because that's how they play, regardless of the conditions, and that is what they are doing. So it's my pleasure now to welcome in Lynn Curran, a board director from Auckland Rugby League. Lynn, Harold Moody Park, enjoying the footy?
I am. It's pretty wet today, but yeah, like you were saying, fast-running games, so it's a pretty exciting game.
What about that number 11's try for Glenora? By crikey, wasn't that an absolutely amazing try?
Highlight of the game for me so far. That was just amazing. Got bumped off Buzz and just kept going and going and going. It was awesome.
So how do you reckon it'll come out after the next 40?
Ooh, I feel a little bit torn right now. I think Glenora will make the most of their home ground advantage and, yeah, pip them.
Yeah, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree with you there too. I think Glenora will be a wee bit too strong in the home stretch.
Well, want to thank the ARL directors coming in and doing a cameo appearance. Both fabulous to have them in here, and I hope that everyone's caught up with the update around the SAS Fox Memorial matches and the ladder, along with the Crown Lift Trucks Shaman Cup. Teams are starting to come back out now, getting ready for the second half. And Corey, next 40. There's a lot going on in the background, ladies and gentlemen. We're still trying to work out how to get our referee link in. We'd want to try and get a new initiative that we're trying this week, Corey, to see whether we can get some dialogue from the refs as the Mount Albert Lions start to walk out onto the field.
Yeah, how good. And of course, if you do want to become an Auckland Rugby League referee, all the info on aucklandleague.co.nz or the Auckland Refs website, which is arlrefs.co.nz. So jump on there, have a look at how you can become involved. Really good referees association there. Have a bit of fun, as well as the work on the weekends as well.
And I understand they have a wee bit of social activity down there in Vigo. Rasmussen, who's just joined us at the ARL, he speaks highly of the organisation, and I dare say that he'll be out today running around somewhere blowing a whistle.
For sure, if you can no longer play, it is the best way to remain involved in the game, on the field. Got it all happening, so big shout out to all our refs around Auckland today. I dare say a wet